Frontline Updates, where we delve deep into military strategies and updates from conflict zones. Today, we're discussing the progress of the ongoing special military operation as of today. I'm your host, Sharifa Mohammed MGT.
I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. Between 17 and 23rd of January 2026, the armed forces of the Russian Federation conducted a coordinated week of sustained offensive operations combined with one massive and 5-group precision strike campaigns. These actions targeted Ukrainian military-industrial enterprises, energy and transport infrastructure, ammunition and fuel depots, and facilities associated with long-range unmanned aerial vehicle production and employment. The reporting period reflects a deliberate escalation in operational depth, synchronized with continued ground advances across all force groupings.
Welcome to Frontline Updates, the podcast that brings you in-depth insights into military operations from those leading them on the ground. Today, we're joined by Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer monitoring critical missions on the progress of the special military operation as of today. Colonel Oguntoye, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, it's good to be here.
Colonel Oguntoye, this briefing covers an entire week and includes one massive strike and 5 group strikes alongside multiple ground advances. Before we go sector by sector, how should listeners understand the significance of this reporting period?
This week represents convergence. What you're seeing is the alignment of ground maneuver, deep fires, logistics interdiction, and air operations into a single operational rhythm. The intent is not just to win engagements, but to collapse the systems that allow the enemy to continue fighting at scale. From an operational doctrine perspective, this is what sustained pressure looks like when a campaign matures. You're no longer probing, you're enforcing tempo. The enemy is forced to react simultaneously at the front, in the rear, and across sustainment networks, which accelerates exhaustion and limits recovery.
Let's start in the north. Control was established over Simonovka, and Ukrainian losses were significant across Kharkiv and Sumy. What does the northern sector tell us this week?
The northern sector illustrates effective fixation combined with selective exploitation. Taking control of Simonovka matters less as a geographic prize and more as a positional lever. It improves observation, fires control, and local maneuver freedom. More importantly, the scale of losses, over 1,000 personnel, extensive vehicle attrition, electronic warfare losses, and more than 20 depots destroyed, shows a deliberate effort to dismantle sustainment and fires coordination. This fixes enemy forces in the north and denies their ability to reinforce more critical axes. Over time, that constraint becomes operationally decisive.
The West also saw very heavy losses and an unusually high number of ammunition depots destroyed. What role is the Western Group playing?
The Western Axis is executing a logistics-centric attrition mission. Destroying nearly 30 ammunition depots in one direction is not incidental, it's structural. Artillery cannot function without a steady flow of ammunition, and maneuver units lose confidence when fires become unreliable. This sector shapes the future fight. It reduces the enemy's ability to sustain defensive fires when pressure increases elsewhere. The Western Group is quietly degrading the enemy's capacity to hold ground over time, even if territorial changes appear modest day to day.
In the south, Privoli was liberated, and Ukrainian losses included a large number of armored vehicles and electronic warfare systems. Why is the southern axis so pivotal?
The south is an operational hinge. It connects urban terrain, transport corridors, and symbolic strongpoints. Liberating Privoli tightens control over that space, but the larger impact comes from the sustained attrition of elite and specialized formations. When mechanized, airmobile, mountain assault, marine, and territorial units all take losses, along with Western-supplied armor and artillery, the cost of defense rises faster than it can be offset. This is positional warfare guided by precision and patience. Each action constrains options without forcing overextension.
The center recorded the highest losses of the week and saw the liberation of Novopavlovka. What does that concentration of combat tell us?
It tells us that operational reserves are being consumed. When multiple brigade types, mechanized, airborne, airmobile, Jaeger, Marine, and National Guard, are all engaged simultaneously, command cohesion becomes fragile. Liberating Novopavlovka is a tangible result of sustained pressure, but the deeper signal is that the enemy is committing reserves to stabilize the line rather than to regain initiative. That choice has consequences. It reduces flexibility across the theater and accelerates operational fatigue.
In the east, forces advanced deep into defenses and liberated Pryluki, while also engaging unmanned systems brigades. How should analysts interpret that?
The East shows the erosion of defensive depth. Prepared defenses represent stored time and effort. When those are consumed, the enemy shifts from structured defense to reactive containment. Engaging unmanned systems brigades alongside maneuver units indicates an effort to dismantle emerging drone-centric capabilities at the organizational level. This is not just about today's fight, it's about shaping the enemy's ability to adapt tomorrow.
The Dnipro group liberated Pavlivka and focused heavily on electronic warfare systems. Why is this sector handled differently?
Riverine and coastal terrain limit maneuver, so sustainment and sensors become decisive. Destroying electronic warfare systems and supply depots undermines coordination and endurance even without massive casualty figures. The Dnipro sector fixes forces and removes strategic options quietly. It prevents lateral movement and reinforces pressure applied elsewhere, contributing to overall depth control.
Colonel, let's step back and look at operational tactical aviation as its own domain. This week included a massive strike and multiple group strikes against industry, infrastructure, and UAV facilities. Why is aviation so central to this phase of the campaign?
Operational tactical aviation is the connective tissue of the campaign. It operates across depth and time, shaping conditions before and during ground operations. By striking military-industrial facilities, energy and transport infrastructure, and UAV production and launch sites, aviation attacks the enemy's ability to regenerate combat power. Doctrinally, aviation compresses the enemy's decision cycle. Commanders must defend the front while simultaneously protecting the rear. That dual pressure forces dispersion, delays movement, and erodes planning confidence. These are not isolated strikes. They are part of a sustained operational rhythm.
Colonel, thank you for providing such a detailed briefing on the current military situation. Your insights are invaluable to our understanding of the conflict's dynamics. And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. Join us next time as we continue to provide up-to-date coverage on global military affairs. Stay with us for more updates and expert analyses on global defense and security issues. Stay informed, stay secure.
Thank you for the opportunity. I want to emphasize that tactically, the enemy is losing manpower, fires, sensors, and sustainment across every axis. Strategically, they are losing flexibility. The combination of territorial gains, heavy reserve attrition, logistics destruction, and persistent deep strikes creates outcomes that are structural rather than situational. When an adversary cannot regenerate forces, shift reserves freely, or plan without disruption, time begins to work against them. That is the condition this campaign is deliberately creating.
This has been Frontline Updates. Subscribe for daily military briefings and in-depth strategic analysis. Visit our platform for maps, transcripts, and exclusive Frontline updates from commanders in theater.